Nature has its own weird way of surprising us. It's clear that majestic mountains and sparkling seas always attract travelers, but sometimes nature has a way bigger thing to show us. There are incredibly many insane things out there that we don't even know exist. So today, we're going to take a look at the 7 craziest natural phenomena in the world. Number 7, Gateway to Hell, Turkmenistan. In the hot, expansive Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, near the 350-person village of Darvaza, is a 230-foot wide hole that has been on fire for over 40 years. Though technically called the Darvaza Gas Crater, locals know the crater as the Gates of Hell. It's a fiery glow that can be seen for miles around. Now, reportedly, no one was injured in the collapse, but the scientists soon had another problem on their hands: the natural gas escaping from the crater. Natural gas is composed mostly of methane, which, though it's not toxic, it displaces oxygen, making it difficult to breathe. This wasn't so much an issue for the scientists, but more for the animals that the Karakum Desert call home. Shortly after the collapse, animals roaming the area began to die off. The escaping methane also posed dangers to its flammability, as there needs to be just 5% methane in the air for an explosion to potentially take place. So the scientists decided to light the crater on fire, hoping that all the dangerous natural gas would burn away in a few weeks' time. The Gates of Hell was created in 1971 when a Soviet drilling rig accidentally punched into a massive underground natural gas cavern, causing the ground to collapse and the entire drilling rig to fall in. Now, having punched a pocket of gas, poisonous fumes began leaking at an alarming rate. To head off a potential environmental catastrophe, the Soviets set the hole alight, figuring it would stop burning within a few weeks. But decades later, and the fiery pit is still going strong. The Soviet drilling rig is believed to still be down there somewhere on the other side of the Gates of Hell. Now, amazingly, despite the crater's foreboding name and ever-present flames, people still trek into the desert to witness the site in all of its blazing glory. The country's government hopes that it will become a tourist site, and the nearby desert has already become a popular place to wild camp. Number 6, Kawang Volcano. Kawang Volcano on the island of Java, Indonesia, has 2 of the most unusual occurrences on Earth. The first is an active solfatara that emits hot, flammable, sulfurous gases. These ignite as they enter Earth's oxygen-rich atmosphere and then burn with an electric blue flame. Some of the gas condenses into the atmosphere to produce flows of molten sulfur that also burn with an electric blue flame. Now, the flames are difficult to see during the day, but they illuminate the landscape at night. The second occurrence is a 1-kilometer wide caldera lake filled with turquoise blue water. The color of the water is a result of its extreme acidity and a high concentration of dissolved metals. It is the world's largest highly acidic lake with a measured pH as low as 0.5. The cause of its acidity is an inflow of hydrothermal waters charged with gases from a hot magma chamber. Miners walk up the flank of the mountain and then descend dangerous rocky paths down the steep walls of the caldera. They use steel bars, they break the sulfur from an outcrop, load their baskets, and then make the return to the top of the refinery. Miners make 1 or 2 trips per day, carrying up to 200 pounds of sulfur. Kawang Volcano is one of the few locations on Earth where sulfur is still produced by artisanal miners. Today, most of the world's sulfur is produced as a byproduct of oil refining and natural gas processing. Number 5, Mammoth Clouds. Sometimes the most beautiful skies come after the most violent of weather. Mammoth clouds are pouch-like protrusions hanging from the undersides of clouds, usually thunderstorm anvil clouds, but other types of clouds as well. Composed primarily of ice, these cloud pouches can extend hundreds of miles in any direction, remaining visible in your sky for perhaps 10 or 15 minutes at a time. People associate them with severe weather, and they can indeed appear around, before, or after a storm. Contrary to myth, they don't continue extending downward to form tornadoes, but they are interesting in part because they are formed by sinking air. Most clouds are formed by rising air. Mammoth clouds can appear ominous, but in a way that's so common in nature, their dangerous aspect goes hand in hand with magnificent beauty. There are numerous terms for mammoth clouds: mamma, mammoth or mammary cloud. The word is actually derived from the Latin mamma, which means breast or udder. A more common usage of the root word in society is mammogram. Scientists have even mentioned mammoths as upside-down clouds. Number 4. Lenticular clouds. Now that we have been talking about clouds, it's not hard to mention lenticular clouds. A lenticular cloud is a lens-shaped cloud that normally develops on the downwind side of a mountain or a mountain range. This occurs when stable, moist air flows over a mountain, creating a series of oscillating waves. If the temperature at the crest of the wave equals the dew point temperature, condensation occurs in a lens formation. As the air falls down through the wave where the temperature and dew point temperature are not equal, evaporation occurs. Thus, a wave cloud, or a series of lenticular clouds, is capable of forming. These are often mistaken for UFOs because of the saucer-like shape. They can separate into altocumulus standing lenticular, stratocumulus standing lenticular, and cirrocumulus standing lenticular clouds. Number 3. Frozen methane bubble. The pockets of methane trapped within Canada's frozen Lake Abraham are a natural wonder, but they do have a dark side. Although produced by a natural process, the alluring ice-encased bubbles enclose a dangerous greenhouse gas and are therefore a threat to the planet. The story of how the bubbles came into being is far from appealing, and as with a mini horror story, it starts with dead bodies. Microbes feeding on the decomposing organic matter at the bottom of the lake release methane, which then floats to the surface in bubbles. When the water freezes in the winter, these bubbles become trapped, producing magical landscapes. But come the spring thaw, the bubbles pop, releasing the methane within them into the atmosphere. Methane is highly flammable, and so the bubbles explode when set alight. Its real danger lies in its impact on Earth's temperature. Although methane doesn't stick around in the atmosphere like carbon dioxide, its heat-trapping effect is 34 times stronger, making it potentially far more detrimental to our climate. Scientists have yet to find a solution, but nevertheless, the main source of global methane is human activity. We can all help out by eating less red meat and dairy produce, as livestock produces huge amounts of the gas. Farmers are also helping, some using anaerobic digesters to turn farm waste and other methane sources into cleaner biogas. Number 2. Blood rain. Blood rain is a term used for rain carrying sand from deserts. When the rain falls, it looks like a reddish color, and when it dries, it leaves a thin layer of dust which can also be red, hence the name. It is capable of coating houses, cars, and even garden furniture. But in 2001, a red rain phenomenon occurred in Kerala, India. The striking red coloration of the rainwater was found to be due to the suspension of microscopic red particles having the appearance of biological cells. These particles have no similarity with usual desert dust. An estimated minimum quantity of 50,000 kilograms of red particles has fallen from the sky through red rain. An analysis of this strange phenomena further shows that the conventional atmospheric transport processes like dust storms, etc., cannot explain this phenomenon. The electron microscopic study of the red particles show fine cell structure, indicating their biological cell-like nature. Analysis showed that the major elements present in these cell-like particles were carbon and oxygen. A test for DNA using the ethidium bromide difluorescence technique indicated the absence of DNA in these cells. Number 1. Moonbows. Moonbows, or lunar rainbows, are a rare natural atmospheric phenomena that occur when the moon's light is reflected and refracted off of water droplets in the air. They are similar to rainbows, but they are created by moonlight instead of direct sunlight. Moonbows are rarer than rainbows because a variety of weather and astronomical conditions have to be just right for them to be created. First of all, the moon has to be very low in the sky, no more than 42 degrees from the horizon. Also, the moon phase has to be a full moon or nearly full. Besides that, the sky must be very dark for a moonbow to be observed because any bright light can obscure it. And water droplets obviously must be present in the air in the opposite direction of the moon. Moonbows occur on the opposite side of the moon and tend to look white to the human eye. This is because their colors are not bright enough to be perceived by receptors in the human eye. It is possible, however, to view the colors in a moonbow using a long exposure photography. Which natural phenomena was the craziest for you? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on your post notifications. That way you never miss a video from us. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. See you in the next video, and thanks for watching.